All right, so you should know all this thing here. Do you recognize that we already did the first part. You're supposed to memorize the first part. Reciprocal and quotient and Pythagoreans, and then sum and difference, and power reducing, double angle, and the power reducing. So if I would erase everything here, you can figure out everything, right? Good. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Um, so let's start with the question first. Let's see if you guys can remember. How do I figure out? Start with something that's a cosine of. Oops, that was a big dot. Cosine of, I don't know. Um, 23 pi over 12. Um, do you know how to figure out? Let's do sine of 23 pi over 4. Do you know what sine of 23 pi over 12? I mean, you guys already got answer? No one? You got an answer? Good. How many of you? Gia, Luke, Caleb? Nice. Remember, when you learn something, learn it the first time. Don't learn it like second time or third time. Better be really lucky in the first time. Then you don't have to ask other people how do you do it. Okay, yeah, you got it? Not yet. Okay. Cole.
I'm sorting them out. I figured.
Alexis. Yes. Anthony. Think so. Senyong. Yes. Senyong doesn't even speak English. And she obviously understands what I do. Brandon, you got it? No, you have to get it before you go to the bathroom. Oh, you get it? Okay, you can go. Just kidding. You have to get it right in order to go bathroom. Leo, do you guys got it? No? Devin, no? I showed you how to do it on the board yesterday. Friday. Doesn't matter. No? You're not guessing. You're going through like which one that's inside the unit circle. If you're going to go through the first couple tries, you should see the answer right away. And you gotta be able to good at simplify fractions. All right. You guys should be hurry up. So for me, in order to have that combination, I can think about pi over 12 plus 22 pi over 12. The problem we don't know what's 11 we don't know what's pi over 12 is. Does that make sense? We can say 2 pi over 12, which is we know it's pi over 6, and we know that's going to be 21 pi over 12. Is that okay? Is that okay? What's 2 pi over 12? Plus 21 pi over 12. Can we simplify? Sine of pi over 6, right? Plus what? Plus what? What? 7 pi over 4. Thank you. Can you do different combination? Yeah, you can. You can do 3 pi over 12, which is pi over 4. And you can say 20 pi over 12, which is, I think that's a 5 pi over 6. Oh, 5 pi over 3, sorry. 5 pi over 3. So any kind of combination will work out to be a same answer. So again, that's going to give you what? Sine of sine, cosine, cosine, sine, right? Do you remember that? And we just had to plug in pi over 6. and the 7 pi over 4, and pi over 6, and 7 pi over 4. Do you remember this? And there's a plus. Is that okay? So you're gonna get the same answer depending on which combination. You're gonna get exact same answer. Doesn't matter which combination, long as it's the right combinations. So this one's gonna be 1/2, I think. And the 7 pi over 4 is gonna be square root 3 over square root 2 over 2. Sorry. Positive. Is that okay? Plus cosine is gonna be 2, and this one square root 3, I think. Times what? Times what? 2 square root 2 negative, right? So it's going to be negative square root 2 minus square root 6 over 4, and that's your final answer. How many of you guys got it? Good. What?
Should be positive.
Sine of 7 pi was 4?
Positive square root.
Which one?
The first one, like at the very the last one has negative square root 2.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I read that. Square root 2 minus square root 6. Yes, square root 2 minus square root 6. Thank you. I'm dyslexic. I don't know how I get negative. Anyway, does that make sense? So it'd be square root 2 minus square root 6 over 4. Is that okay? So how do I run down those choices? Well, I know you can just break it up. 1 over 12 plus 22 over 12. 22 over 12 is not simplifiable. Well, pi over 12 is not simplifiable into unit circle. But 2 pi over 12, yes. 2 pi over 12 and 21 pi over 12, they all become to unit circle value. When they become unit circle value, you can do this CSO or SMS. Is this okay? Is it hard? Amber, you're not here. You probably had to get a picture of somebody to notes. Did you? Kennedy, can you let her borrow the notes? Oh, okay. Oh, you did it from competitions. Okay. Who take good notes? I think who has good handwriting? Chia, do you think you can take a picture of your notes and send it to on a group chat? I think you have good handwriting. I think. Do you have good handwriting? She does. Okay. Elizabeth's approved. She has good handwriting. Yeah, I think her handwriting's better though. Thank you. All right, so, because I wasn't able to record it, I didn't bring my iPad that day. That's why it's mad you're not here.
There were a lot of people that were here.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that do that. It's college fair.
Do you want me to do that or just?
Group chat. All right, so shh. All right, so now I want you to pay attention. Eyes to the board, please. So you have the sum and difference. So this one is gonna give you sine, cosine, cosine, sine, and this is gonna be AB. Hopefully you already know that. And this is a plus. And you have another one, sine, cosine, cosine, sine, and you got AB negative. Is that okay? And then this one's gonna be cosine, cosine, sine, sine, over the cosine, cosine, sine, sine, and this is a AB, negative plus, and thank you, Gia. So that's gonna be the sum and difference. You're gonna have to use this for whatever you are looking for, those interesting angles. That those are angle as not usually the unit circle. Do you guys have memorized sine of 2 theta is? Raise your hand if you have memorized. Because that's a very useful sine of 2 theta.
I know how to prove it. but-
How to prove it? Yeah, that's good. If you know how to prove it, it's even better. But how many guys have memorized it? Okay, only one person, Julian's memorized. Yes.
You sure? No. Oh, like on yoga.
Okay, so for me, like one of the double angle with memorized is always the first one. So actually, I'll memorize this one as 2 sine theta, cosine theta. And this one's cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. And this I would memorize because those are the things that are really easy. But if you don't memorize it, just look at here. If I have sine of theta plus theta, right? Does that mean sine of 2 theta? And that means SMS, so be sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Do you remember this? And instead of placing AB, we place theta, 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 theta. And there's a plus. And this becomes, this can switch the order, remember? And that becomes 2 sine theta, cosine theta. And I don't need to memorize that because I can prove it. I can look up here, I can prove it. What if you have theta and theta? What did you get? Well, you're going to get cosine theta minus sine theta, sine theta. So it'd be cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. You follow me or no? So this, you get it from here. And this, you get it from here. Just replace the A and B with theta and theta. So on the test, if I ask you, you can actually prove it if you don't remember it. The problem is the other two. So what I'm going to do is replace that cosine squared theta. And we're going to write this on the side. Sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta equal to 1. Cosine squared theta is equal to 1 minus sine squared theta. Or sine squared theta equal to 1 minus cosine squared theta. You can prove it by replace this with sine, which is 1 minus cosine squared theta.
Can you make it full screen?
Yes, I can. Thank you for letting me know. Is that better? So can I distribute this? Can I distribute this? So that becomes 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. Is this okay? Are you guys following me or no? Yeah? Can I replace the sine squared with cosine squared theta? Minus sine squared theta. Can I replace this one? So cosine, that becomes 1 minus cosine squared theta. 1 minus sine squared theta, sorry. And this is minus sine squared theta. That's equal to 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. Is that okay? So we come out all the identity here. We just prove all the way to here. If I ask you on the test, can you give it to me? I'll give you a copy of blank sheet. So you can write it out as many times as possible and just see how it work. And Valrian will tell you that if you next year, you better know this identity, right, Valrian?
Where are we?
All those identities.
Oh yeah, you do have to do all of them.
And that's on the first week of the school. The first week of the school, there's going to be a, there you go, memorize this. Okay, bye. That's the first day of school. Second day, you have a test. That's when everybody drop out like a fly.
Can you go back to the balloon part right there? Yeah.
Where do I get this from? This is a Pythagorean identity. This is the first one of Pythagorean identities right here. Okay, now we're gonna come down to the last one. This one's only used for BC Calc, but I still want you to know it by now because there's a power reducing. So it's not so bad because it's actually coming from here. Cosine 2 theta is equal to 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. And there's a cosine 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. So this coming from here, right? So what you're gonna do is you're solving for sine square. If I'm gonna work on this one, how do I solve sine square? Can I just move to this to the other side? Devin, I don't need to remind you to pay attention on the board. You guys should know how to pay attention on the board. And besides Devin, somebody else I don't pay attention on you. That doesn't mean I don't see you. But that right now I only see Devin, which is all the people here. I only see him not looking at the board. So if I'm moving this, switching around, if I solve for sine square of x, I can move around. So that means I'm gonna move this to this side. So it'll be 2 sine square of theta plus cosine of 2 theta is equal to 1. Does that make sense? And I can solve for this. How do I solve for this? 2 sine squared theta is equal to 1 minus cosine 2 theta. And I can divide it by 2 on both sides. So sine squared theta is equal to 1 minus cosine of 2 theta over 2. It's not square, it's 2. So I here it's going to be 1 minus cosine of 2 theta over 2. The whole thing over 2, not shown in the 1. So basically, I take this identity, I solve for sine square, I solve cosine square. The other one's even easier because the other one just moved the -1 to the other side, becomes +1. So it'll be 1 plus cosine 2 theta over 2. And we just finished power reducing. We finished double angle. We finished sum and difference.
If we just memorize this for the test tomorrow, do we have to do all that?
This particular power proof? No, but it's easier to memorize than actually to easier to prove it and memorize it because I have a memory of a goldfish, so I won't.
Well, like if I don't have the.
Well, you probably have memory less than goldfish.
Okay. So. Hello?
Wait, do we have to
No, I maybe Dory.
I'm worried.
Where did the square go? Like,
Square's on this side, on this side.
oh,
I like Dory though. She's my favorite.
Why? She's literally stupid.
She's so funny. Do you speak well? That's like the best part. Yes.
Could we literally just write that and we get credit for the problem?
Technically you can, because this one I don't need you to prove it. But if you can prove it, it's good. No.
But you did.
I say Dory is my favorite fish.
And you called me Dory.
Well, compare her story, not her fault. You're being cold fish, that's all.
You make a little. Do you have any more?
No, actually.
Yeah.
Give you any voice, boy, shut.
It's basically I take this two function that you get from double angle identity. So if you guys don't understand, it's actually easy. If you take this, you solve for this, you're gonna get the power reducing. If you take this, you solve for this, you're gonna get power reducing. Basically just isolate the cosine square or isolate the sine square. Eventually you're gonna get this two formula. But this is the way to prove it because I can start by moving this this to the other side. So it becomes 2 sine square plus cosine 2 theta equal to 1. I move the cosine 2 theta to the other side, so 1 minus cosine 2 theta. I'll divide by 2 on both sides. I get this.
Okay.
And this is how I prove the first one. How I prove the second one is even easier because second one's right here. You just have to move the 1 over and divide by 2 on both sides. You basically just solve an equation.
That makes so much more.
What?
Can you send this like just go?
The empty one, yes.
What? Not that one?
You should be writing the shit down.
I mean,
I am writing it down. It's just like, I don't know, yours is better.
Can
you zoom back in there?
Oh, really? It's like the same.
I can read your handwriting
Well,
better than I can read mine.
It might be a little. It might
And that's
be a
pretty
little-
sad because my handwriting like a shit.
It's gonna be a little bit less than that.
W. Darshini,
I'm writing it
W.
down.
Darshini.
It's so
W.
hard.
Darshini.
Yeah.
I can just read about that.
All right, so can I move on or no?
So for full credit, we don't need to write all the proof down.
For this side, I would say it's good that if you know the proof, because later on we have to do something called proving identity, which is we already done like a lot of them. That was the most challenging part for trick, is proving one identity to another. We already start short of doing that. So you better just know it now than try to figure out later. Like I said, I always try to learn something the first time, not the second time around. Because second time around, the problem you try to learn second time around, you already have you already have a system already built in, and it might be wrong. So then you're gonna go with the wrong path. So because you already think that you know it, but you actually don't know it. So the first thing is actually know it to how to learn it correctly. How to learn it correctly is this. I'm gonna repeat again. This one here is just memorizing the two acronyms, which is SMS and CSO, right? So this one is proving from here, then this one's proving from here. And then when you get down to this two, you can just replace the sine square of x with the 1 minus cosine square of x. Or you can replace the cosine square with 1 minus sine square. Then you get the other two. Now once you got those two, you can say, hey, let's just do basic math. Move the 1 to the other side and divide by 2 on both sides. You got wonderful. Boom. That's move. This one's more complex to move because this one you got to move this side and this side, and then it's gonna be 1 minus cosine 2 theta divided by 2. Boom. You got a third one. So then you know all the identity. The problem is not just memorize identity, it's understand how to get there. How to get there is very, very key thing, because sincerely, Devin would tell you how bad a memory I have. Like I will set a password and I won't remember that password. Okay? And I will place a key right here and I won't know where's the key.
Remember when you put your keys in your pocket?
Yeah. And yeah, that's me. So how do I memorize this identity? Because I have a systematic approach, I just have to know how to make the connections. The problem of learning math is I'm the only person who will tell you math is useless. Yes, I'm the only math teacher who will tell you math is useless. However, math teaches you how to learn something. Okay? Math is probably the only thing that you can systematically approach for everything, and you will work out everything. You can start from algebra 1 all the way to go calculus, and you can prove every single thing, and they are connected in such a way that you would know. We will prove that in this later. Okay, we'll prove that later. Okay, so now you know our identity. Now we're gonna start using them. So the next question is gonna be a little bit more than AP exam, so I'm still gonna cover it because I think it's important. It looks like this. Okay.
That's so long.
That one day.
Okay, we have two angles. Suppose
Is this gonna be on the test tomorrow?
I don't know yet. I don't think so. And there's a possibility I might move the test, but I don't know yet.
Okay.
So sine of A, so that's to know sine of A is equal to 12 over 13. Okay, sine of A is equal to 12 over 13. And A is located at a quadrant 2. So quadrant 2. Okay, A is located at quadrant 2. And that's a cosine of B is equal to, I don't know. That says 4 over 5. And B is in quadrant 3. My best idea. Okay, so sorry, let me write down a question. My best idea is to see. I would ask you says, hey, what is cosine of a plus b? Okay, what is cosine a plus b? Actually, this one need to be negative. Okay. So first things first, there is an angle A, and angle A is in quadrant 2. So I'm going to draw it at a quadrant 2. And this is the A. Is that okay? And this is 12, and this is 13. Is that okay? What's the bottom side? What? It's not 5. Negative 5, thank you. It's a 5, 12, 13 triangle. Is this okay? Okay, so this part is going to be the red part. Can I show you the red part? Well, red part is like quadrant 3. Is right here is the B. This is 5 because of the hypotenuse, and this is negative 4. Is that okay? What will be the third side? Negative 3. Pay attention. That's why you draw the quadrant now. Told you it's down here, so it's negative. Remember, every negative sign is going to cost you points, especially trig. So if you miss a negative sign, you're done. Now, how do I figure out what the cosine of A plus B? Well, cosine of A plus B is equal to cosine, sine, right? And this is AB, right? And this is minus sign. Is this okay? And okay, well, cosine of A. So cosine of A, we're going to look at this thing here. What will be a cosine of A? What? It's negative 5 over 13. Not cosine of negative 5 over 13. Just negative 5 over 13. That's it. There is no cosine. A lot of people tend to write a cosine again on the test. Don't write a cosine. What's the cosine of B? Negative 5 over 13, you're right. Thank you. What is cosine of B? Negative 4 over 5. Is that okay? Minus, what is sine of A? 12 over 13. Times what is sine of B? Negative 3 over 5. Good. Now all I gotta do is multiply. This is 65. This is 20. Is that okay? And this is minus 65. And this is what? 36. But it's a negative, right? So it'll be 56 over 65. And then that's the final answer. Is that okay? Yep. Oh. No, because of the minus sign. I don't make a mistake, it's not. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, what if I ask you what is the cosine of 2b? Cosine of 2b. What do you think cosine of 2b is? What if my questions ask you what is cosine of 2b? What?
Cosine square B minus sine square B.
Cosine square, what?
B sine square B.
Mm-hmm. So what is cosine 2b? So b, we're gonna look at the b angle. What is cosine of b? What? Negative over 5 square, right? The whole thing square, right? What's sine of over b? What is it? It's b, not a. Negative 3 over 5 square. So that's equal to 16 over what? 25? Is that okay? Minus 9 over 25. So it'd be 7 over 25. Is this okay? I just use an identity, that's it. Can I ask you what is sine of a plus b? A minus b. How many guys finished? Really good. So that's the equal to sine, cosine, cosine, sine, right? Because I'm gonna review that formula. A, B, this one's negative. What is sine of A? 12 over 13, thank you. And the cosine of B is what? Negative 4 over 5. Minus, what's the cosine of A? Good. And the sine of B? Negative 3 over 5. Perfect. So that's equal to negative 48 over 65. Minus, this one's going to be 15 over 65. So that's going to be minus what? 63 over 65. You gotta learn how to use identity. We good? Is it hard? The hardest part is actually draw out this quadrants. That's usually the hardest part of the problem. Everything else is just arithmetic and memorize the formulas. You want to give me a question for you to try? Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple situation. I'm gonna give you a cosine of 5 pi over 18. This is probably a test question as well. Okay, this is a 5 pi over 18 and pi over 9, and sine of 5 pi over 18 over sine of pi over 9. So this one, see if you can figure out, right? This will be a good test question if I were to give you. Nope, this is not the same thing. Go back, think about what other thing that you think about. Which identity is this one? Think about it. This is what we done on Friday. I want you to figure out, I want you to evaluate this. Okay? This has nothing to do with the question we just done earlier. This has something to do with it done on Friday. Yes, I think Julian was the first one to figure out. Was the reverse? Julian or Josiah figure out to reverse the thing.
A minus B.
Okay, 2.
That's also A minus B.
5 over 9. Oh, that's the one question. This is. I'm gonna give it to you. Okay, no, not yet. I'm gonna keep on going. Okay, so the next question I will ask you is, what is That's good. That's a good question. Let's ask. Let's ask you cosine of 11 pi over 12. That's a good question. The third question I'll ask you is same thing we just did now. I'm gonna say cosine of. No, I'm gonna say tangent of state A is equal to -4/3, and they are located at a quadrant 2. And we got a cosine of B is located at 2/3 at a quadrant. Let's do -2/3. That's quadrant 4. Nope, that's quadrant 3. Let's do quadrant 3. Okay, quadrant 3. And I can ask you, says A is what's the cosine of A plus B? B is what is sine of A minus B? C is, can I ask you a cosine of 2A? Okay, so start with the first question. First two is pretty easy.
Oh, those are questions.
Yo, I don't know, bro.
What is it? C is asking you cosine of 2A.
Oh, that's a 2?
I don't know why you're asking me, bro.
First one should be easy. Everybody should get done the first one. Yeah, you have to solve for it. It's gonna be a simple fraction. It's gonna be a very, very simple fraction.
Does 3 say tangent of A?
Tangent of A equal to -4/3 quadrant 2, and cosine of B at quadrant 3.
Is that gonna be the homework?
Yeah, this is gonna be homework / review. I'm not gonna put it on it today, but I'm not gonna put it tomorrow because I don't have enough time. I wanna make sure you guys understand this.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow you don't have enough time.
Test. No, Thursday.
Then it was made up of the thing.
I'm just gonna continue talking about this.
No. That look saves my ass. I thought.
The problem is it doesn't matter for you.
Fuck.
And on Tuesday or Thursday, you screw right away. I'm just be honest with you. And you're gonna say, I'm gonna start you with 100 and end up you guys could be grouping around. Nah, it would be perfect.
Information, I was looked away for 1 second just to look at David. What David was even David agreed with me. He said, "Why do you agree?" I swear I was watching your screen.
Oh, you had to look at the screen.
I
You had
know,
to
I
pay
did.
attention.
1 second away.
No, you look at more 3 minutes ago.
It's not 3 minutes. David saw me. David can vouch for me.
No, it's fine.
That's all
They're
I'm
okay.
gonna
So, it's not like there's any hate, which arguably worse than hate.
No, it's not worth.
You can, I even trust you to try me.